Biggie and I were just talking. There's P1 listeners. It's everything we need. We love P1 listeners.
Heart hand emoji to the P1.
That means priority one to this show. Sometimes they listen an hour a day. Sometimes they listen 4 or 5 hours a day. People tell me I listen to this show 5 hours a day. I said, buddy, you beat me.
Some listen to it twice a day.
Twice a day.
And we'll check out the portions after, like a podcast style.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. But there are a few people who they complain about so much. And two examples. One gentleman, if we ever talk about anything political, like we just said something about the Supreme Court, immediately.
You think there's an email coming?
Yes. The other day we made fun of Joe Biden when he was on that hot mic. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And he was very, very angry because he didn't think we make fun of him hard enough. Long enough. Because he's a very big Trump supporter. And he says, when Trump was in office, you made fun of him all the time. Now you only make fun of Biden every once in a while. And I've responded to him and said, I don't think Biden's funny. I think Biden is kind of boring. I think Trump would say something every day that was interesting.
Yeah.
Whether you think they're good, whichever's a good president, whichever you vote for, I think Biden is like, okay, ho-hum, you hear from him every 2 weeks. Trump, every day.
It's fun to make fun of the old doddering grandpa.
Exactly. When he was on the hot mic, I thought that was funny. He said, you didn't do enough. That's just, but this couple of people are just so mad. And I think people do go through their days now looking for anything to point out. They're so angry about stuff.
Absolutely.
And yesterday, but now the other example I have, and this was a great exchange. Yesterday, I got an email, and I went too far with this. I got an email. You all got it too. Stop talking so much sports. I'm sick of the sports. I don't care that the NFL had a great weekend. Enough is enough. You've talked about sports for 3 days, okay? Because we have gone over the games themselves, which were phenomenal. Who might win this? Where's Aaron Rodgers going? What's Tom Brady doing? And now yesterday, overtime rules. What should we do with overtime rules? So, got this email about it. It angered me.
At what point in your day, Kelly, can I ask, at what point in your day did you read this?
Got this about 1 o'clock.
Were you in your happy place?
Post-workout. Okay.
So some good endorphins coursing through you.
Yeah.
Were you in line at a chicken place? Or you headed home for a ham?
What does that mean?
I'm sorry. That's code. A ham sandwich with the crust cut off.
I was
Crusty had a new name.
No. I was home for a ham yesterday. I called her.
Home ham?
I called her. I said, cut the crust off. I'm coming home.
Honey, cut the crust. Damn it, I'm coming.
Get the mustard ready. I'm ready to go.
Side note.
Yes.
When you eat toast.
Yes.
Do you cut that crust off too?
No, I don't mind it on toast because then it takes the same consistency as the rest of the bread. Mm-hmm. But on when it's not toasted,
hang on, I got to type up an email. Dear sir, I wish to complain on behalf of the bread organization.
I am carb free. I do not like it.
As head of the bread council, I find it offensive that you do not eat crust.
Actually, your email's too polite to just be an email that's like, it's crust. It's part of the bread. You eat the bread. You eat the crust. You idiot.
Oh, okay.
Idiot.
So start more angry.
You got to be all angry all the time.
So you get it 1-ish in the afternoon.
Yeah, 1:15, and he says, I'm sick of the sports. It's all about sports and this and that. And it got under my skin. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to delete this and never going to mention it again. That's it. I'm just going to delete it.
The right thing to do.
But it kept eating at me and eating at me and eating.
Festered.
Festered and festered and festered.
Even whatever you watch, Golden Girls, Yellowstone, Friends, nothing could wash it away.
Didn't take me out of it. I was just eating me and eating me and eating me. So I went back through. I thought I'm gonna see how much sports we've talked about this week. So I went back through the emails between Biggie and myself and the archives from this week to see how much sports we have talked. Now, we talked about sports for 42 minutes over 3 days. I looked at it, I watched, I said, okay, that's it, 42 minutes over 3 days.
So now you've done the fact diving. And you didn't dive back into your email trash, did you?
Well, it took me a long time to fact diving.
I was going to say.
And I debated, am I going to email this guy back? And I thought, yeah, I'm going to email this guy.
Climb into your email trash can.
I'm going to hit him with numbers.
I'm going to hit him with numbers. And then I went through yesterday's show. We talked about 39 topics yesterday. 4 were sports related. David Ortiz making the Hall of Fame.
See?
Yeah.
Okay.
El Tainto.
Chris Tim calls him El Tainto, which means the taint.
Spanish for taint. We think.
I will not.
We don't know.
I will not cotton to that. That man deserves the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. That was debated all day, too, on those sports shows.
Of course.
But David Ortiz to the Hall of Fame, which, bravo. Bravo, amen to that. And so it was David Ortiz. It was the NFL rules discussion twice. And a tennis player in Australia hit a little boy with a ball because he smacked it into the crowd.
In the gut.
Yes. So I went back and chronicled all 39 topics we talked about yesterday and listed them and put them, and I highlighted the ones that were sports related.
Just hate research.
Hate research.
Oh, yeah.
Took me hours. Okay. I had to go back and listen to the entire show.
I'm sure. God almighty.
Okay.
Children, don't bother your father.
So I did this until about 11:30 last night. I was up, listening
Kelly.
to the show, and I was going back.
You're like that guy with that email or that meme with the guy with the board with the yarn.
That's right.
That's
Connecting all the
39
the
topics.
39 topics. So I listed all 39
I
topics.
don't even really count the tennis one because it was more about the kid
That's
getting
what
hit.
exactly I said. You can count this as sports, but it's really not
I
sports.
gave no updates on the Australian Open whatsoever.
That's right.
This is not professional
That's
sports.
right.
This was about injuring a child. Get it right.
Exactly. I said that. Like today, there's a great story about Odell Beckham, who took a big portion of his paycheck in cryptocurrency, in Bitcoin, $750,000 worth. Well, now it's worth $400,000 because cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin, has gone way down, and he has to pay taxes on it as if it's $750,000. Oh. Great story. I mean, Odell Beckham. But that's not a sports story. That's a currency story.
Okay.
All right. So, and same with the Australian Open. I thought that was more of a different human interest. So I went through and I listed all 39 topics and commentary on each. Dave tried to rile me up. That kind of thing.
Damn did Australian accent.
I said, I put in parentheses. I was like, Dave wound me up.
You transcribed the show?
I did. I transcribed the entire show.
Miley Cyrus impression.
That's right. Jim did the Miley Cyrus.
Like a steno court reporter?
That's right. Every single bit of it. And I wrote down all 39 topics, and I said, as you can see here, we dedicated however many minutes to sports. And I said, for this week, 7% of this program has been about sports. And I did a big, long math, and I said,
You showed your work.
I showed my work, 7%. Now, it took me 8 hours to get that done. And I fired off the email about 11:30 last night.
Oh, my gosh.
5 minutes later, I'm going to bed. Email comes back from the gentleman. He says, thanks.
Rage building.
I guess you really went.
That's worse than an out of office auto
Thanks. Let me know about tomorrow's show. You can do this every night?
Yes, every night. I will
recap the show.
Recap everything, but only for people who hate me. It's all about the hatred. That's
the hate cast.
That's right. I'm doing the hate cast.
You show no passion to those that care for you.
No, I don't. No,
No time.
None. But
oh, my word.
The hate cast I'm into.
Wow.
And I was like out of breath after I'd done it. He's like, okay, thanks. And that was it. That's all he said.
So you've heard me.
Did you want to start a dialogue with him? What were you expecting in return?
Well, I don't know. I really wanted to shame him, but I didn't get that.
You tried to fact bomb him.
I didn't get that satisfaction. Though.
Yeah,
I know.
you were hoping he'd say, "Okay, you really don't talk about it that much."
Yeah, but all he said, "Okay, thanks." That was all there was to it.
7%'s too much.
Yeah, I don't even think he cared that much. He just, sent one off, and I really got way too
wound
into
up.
it. He wound me up.
He was wound up.
He's wound
got
up.
it off his chest.
He wound me up.
But see, sometimes when you get things off your chest, Kelly, you're still wound up.
It's worse. It makes it worse.
Look at you. Look at you're stress scratching.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Like you in the cuckoo's nest.
That's what I am. I should be in the cuckoo's nest, apparently. I see those eyes you're cutting to me, too, Dave. You don't.
Yeah. That's mental health shaming,
I'm
by the way,
not sending the emails. Don't look at me like that.
You've never supported me.
Dave. You've always been against me.
It's hard to support the Cray.
You've always been against me.
That
You're
should be a
Nurse
meme.
Ratchet.
I'll tell you one thing. You're on my list. I put you.
When he makes notes about today's show, and he will.
Oh, I know. I've seen him.
These
He's
notes-
got stacks
these
already.
stacks
He's writing
right
down
here.
everything.
I'm writing
You're
this
in
down.
bold.
I tell you what got me. This is TV related. This is what really made me mad yesterday.
Yeah.
I was watching Friends in the afternoon, and it was on Nick at Night. I'd recorded it, but it was on Nick at Night. One of my favorite episodes. And when I watched it, I think they're doing this. You tell me if this is true. My wife says, "Oh yeah," but she didn't care. They've sped it up a little bit because the voices are too high. They're doing their little jumps.
But the music's fast too.
And the music is fast. Yes.
Well, I have thought the same thing when
Yes.
I will see a Seinfeld rerun on TBS.
Yes.
It doesn't sound right.
They speed it up a little bit so they can put an extra commercial in. And that got to me, man. I said, and I turned to my wife, like, listen to this.
Yeah,
Listen to this. You hear it? Because I had it on YouTube TV, which I have. You record, and it records every episode of everything you want.
I know.
So I have every Friends. And it says choose which version. So I watched it on Nick at Night, and then I flipped over to the same episode on some other channel that it had come on. Or I went to HBO Max where they have them, and it was big difference. They're speeding it up.
You should send an email.
You know what you do when you
Dear sir. Or madam.
when you go home,
Yep.
time it.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
write down each
Yes.
time, then go over to HBO,
Yeah.
and then write down every
cue.
It's easier on HBO because all you have to do is look at the beginning
That's
and the
right.
end.
That's right.
But then if you go through each commercial and write down the time,
That's right.
and do it for 4 or 5 episodes,
And name each sponsor. Don't forget that.
put the sponsors in there and the commentary.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look inside the TBS offices. Hey, look, another jabroni counted the commercials and says we're speeding up.
Well, let's speed it up another 0.5%.
Yeah, just to mess with him.
They do. They speed it up just enough that it still makes sense.
Yes, but they're talking too fast.
I know. And the music's what really gets you,
Yes.
especially in Friends. In Seinfeld, it's not as bad because it's that dong, 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 dong.
Yeah.
But it's music in between scenes.
Yeah,
and you
they'll
can
play
tell
a
it's-
song. They'll play a little song. And
Yeah.
I looked at my wife and said, "Are you hearing this?" And she's like, "Yeah, but I don't care. I've seen this 1,000 times. Doesn't
Stream
matter."
it.
Yeah, exactly. I should just go over to HBO and stream it. I'm sorry, but I'm wound up now. That got me going good. I'll tell you that. There's another. I think this is this television related. I think this reporter. You tell me, Dave. You're in local TV. I don't think he cares about the story he's covering. He's gone to cover something called sea pickles, which are
They're washing up on the
Like in the
Pacific
ocean?
shores
they're washing up on the shores of
or Southern Oregon.
or Southern Oregon. Do you know what a sea pickle is?
I thought they were called sea cucumbers.
That's the debate. He's like, some are called sea pickles, his photographer called them sea cucumbers.
Yeah, they're cucumbers. They're not pickles.
He called them a sea pickle.
Pickles are something humans do to cucumbers.
Well,
Unless there's some fish down there pickling them.
he says once they wash up, they're sea pickle, and they're washing up all over the Oregon coastline, and they look like dildos.
There's no way to get around it. They look like clear
They do. They do.
6.5, 7-inch dildos.
And
Welcome to Oregon.
he finished his report, and I just felt like he didn't have his heart wasn't in it.
These are not dangerous. You can pick them up. You can touch them. They're kind of weird to look at. I'm told I just got an email from somebody at 7 o'clock here who says they were down in the Charleston Bandon area, and they said there were just tons of them out there. When you're out there beach walking at some point in the near future there, you're looking for sand dollars, you're looking for agates, keep your eyes out for sea pickles because they are out there as well. Don't let the dogs eat them. Apparently they make dogs a little bit sick as well, but they're kind of a novelty to look at. And whether you call them a sea pickle like I do or a sea cucumber like Carl does, Carl's no scientist, he's a photographer. So take that for what it's worth. Sea pickles coming to an Oregon beach near you soon.
All right. Thanks, Corey.
Thanks, Corey. He went on for like 3 minutes. I edited him down. He went on and on. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
They dedicated a news team
to that.
for a day.
To that.
I think he was doing it that way on purpose,
I do too.
I think
I do
when he
too.
got back, he got reamed by his boss.
Well, exactly. Chris Demm said, and plus he was a pretty seasoned veteran. You could tell. It reminded us. Remember that time? This was years ago in New York. There was an elevator that had broken. And
Oh, yeah.
You should call it
Yes, and they sent out the seasoned reporter.
older guy, and he was talking to residents of the building about the broken elevator, and then the anchor said, "Oh, you let her get away."
You should have asked a follow-up,
And they
essentially.
got into a fight right there on TV.
I've got to go now. I want to thank you both. Thank you. All right, it's back to you, Jim.
Ollie, don't let her go away. That's what. Does she have a response to that? Is she still there?
What's that?
Did the lady just leave?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. We should have kept that discussion.
She's back if you want her.
Yes.
She heard you.
Yes.
What'd you like to know?
I would like to know a response to what the gentleman said. The gentleman's a very effective spokesperson for the company, but obviously the people who live there are not satisfied with his explanation.
Right. So what do you want now?
Well, if I have to teach you how to be a reporter, Ollie, I'll do that later.
Why don't you do that later, Jim? I think the lady expressed herself, and you're not here, you're there. Is there any question you'd like me to ask her?
And no, I'll give you lessons on how to become a reporter later.
I'll give you some lessons on how to be an editor, because I was your boss once.
Yeah, you were, and are no longer. How did that happen?
Well, I don't know.
Here's Aaron to build a Milo.
I think Anchor wins. Because when reporter says, I used to be your boss, he says, yeah, how'd that
The
work?
worst comeback ever.
Now you're out in the tenements.
That's right. Awful comeback. I have terrible comebacks. I am the worst at comebacks, but that's the worst one ever.
This is what would happen if I got my own show.
Oh, God, yeah.
And you had to come work for me.
I used to
be your boss.
Yeah.
Were.
How'd that work out?
Oh, I know. That would be so awful. I just don't think I could do that.
No.
It's like these like NFL coaches who are bad coaches but great coordinators. Like right now, the Broncos, my team, they just fired their coach, but he's a great defensive coordinator. I wonder if you could say, can you stay on, but only as defensive coordinator?
Right.
You know,
take the demotion.
Yeah. Can you take the demote? But I don't think it works interpersonally. There's just no way to do it like those two.
Yeah, you got to go somewhere else.
Yeah, when they got together, those two just couldn't do it. Another man, this is about anger as well. See if you believe him. I do. He went to a Taco Bell and said that he found a bolt inside his taco. A small bolt was inside whatever he had ordered. And when he told the person behind the counter, she told the manager, and the manager said, I don't believe you. She basically said, I do not believe there's a bolt inside.
A bolt? Do we know the size?
This was Fargo, North Dakota, small. He said he crunched down on it, didn't get hurt, but felt it between his teeth, and then wanted to say something, and the manager didn't believe him. This is his story.
I knew it wasn't food. It couldn't have been. Tried to dig out what it was, and then I pulled it out, and it was this little tiny bolt or screw or something. Well, I thought I hurt myself, you know? I was just kind of in shock at the moment, I guess. He said that the GM didn't believe me, and she thought that I was lying. That could easily happen again if it happened to me. I just want people to be aware of it, that can happen in restaurants pretty easily, I guess.
I mean, he's not doing a lawsuit. I mean, there is no lawsuit really to have, but he tried to tell them, look, you've got a bolt in your taco. But I guess so many people have tried to fake the thing before, as we've discussed.
Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I'm automatically think that they're trying to scam somebody, and that's my default setting.
His thing was, though, I just don't want anybody to get hurt. Maybe you have bolts.
Are there loose bolts over the food prep area?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be. I was thinking in the prep area. I mean,
like from the heat lamps?
Yeah, well, things just, everything's bolted down, comes loose.
Yeah, it could fall
over
out.
time.
I've had a bolt in my food.
Have you
I've
really?
had it in my mouth.
No kidding.
Yeah, mashed potatoes.
Where were you?
At the restaurant.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
I was sitting at the bar.
Oh, I see. Okay.
No, there was. And I ordered a plate of food for some reason.
If I have to teach you how to tell a story, I'll do that later. I used to be
you used to be a TV. But now you're not. What happened there?
Did you tell anybody or did you just spit it out and go?
No, I knew the person I knew the manager, and I was just eating the potatoes, and I felt something in my mouth, and I spit out this Frankenstein bowl. And I'm like, hey, dude, come here. I said, is that supposed to be in there?
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
Sam's cooking tonight.
No, that's a mistake.
You won the prize.
How about a complimentary dessert?
He said,
I'll take a cocktail.
He's like, if you anything you want. I said, just take this away. So I don't think I want it.
I wonder how it
I told him to go look. I said, I bet it came. No, they have those vents.
Is that what it is?
They have the vents are screwed above the
like an exhaust
cooking
vent?
surface, like an exhaust vent. And I think there's bolts in there. They take them out to put the filters in, and I think they didn't screw it back in, so got in my tater.
Not screwed in properly, and all of a sudden it's in your tater and in your mouth.
In my mouth.
All right. Our podcast will include a more specific version of that.